The dry grass crackles under your feet as you stop. The flock of quail departs. Now more than on the islet, there is almost no wind, just the light like a silent orchestra tuning at the beginning of some major work. A silent hiss. See it, the faraway roar of the city, distant like today's dream. Before it, the sound of sand, a low hum. The air slowly moves through a concrete box. Through its air flows out of a pillbox window. There is very little there. The air...
Yes?
This is where a lesser man would stop to think about the pain shooting up his right leg and into his groin. Not you.
I have. Is that why we're stopping?
The lieutenant nods. Call the Mama Dakwa. We are way out now. No, it's just your imagination. You see a small metal door nested inside a larger one. A heavy steel blast door.
Another part of the island, probably. The lock looks like it could still be usable. Maybe this is one of the doors we don't open?
He's right. It would be better to open its big brother. A powerful engine hangs under the ceiling. It must control the blast door.
All right, I retract my statement. It was naive. Let's look around and get it open.
Books and magazines lie scattered on the floor. Most are soft covers, serialized among what is mostly commercial fiction and serialized stories. You find a magazine.
Someone's made themselves a home.
Oh yes, under the bed, there is a rather extensive collection of critical theory, that is, dour, life non-affirming left-wing literature, published by small imprints such as Abattoir Firm and Ouzia. It's not exactly like reading.
Ouzia. Humanitarian sciences. Stands out. Not a lot of critical theory around in Ravachol West anymore.
Your incendiary remark has failed to provoke. Wasn't there some in the communist students' room?
Well, yes.
The little books seem inconsequential next to the big pile of frivolous
Whoever has lived here, they have some education.
Interesting. Books, most among.
Someone's made themselves a home.
Oh yes, under the bed. There is a rather...
Usia.
Books and magazines lie scattered on the floor. Books and magazines lie scattered on the floor and on. Books at most are soft covers among.
Someone's made themselves a home.
Oh yes, under the bed. There is a rather extensive...
Usia. I agree. Humanitarian sciences. It stands out. Not a lot of critical theory around in Ravachol West.
Your incendiary. Wasn't there some in the commune?
Well, yeah.
The little books seem
Whoever...
interesting. There's a greasy old spring mattress in the corner.
Someone has been squatting here. The linen is fresh, recently washed.
You force the rest of the sentence.
You know, officer, you can rest here if you are feeling tired. I will keep watch. You could use some rest for what's ahead.
You face the concrete wall. There's less light there, in the dark corner. You didn't realize how tired you were. Your body is still nowhere near. The blanket feels cold. The entire room does. Concrete. You feel yourself standing up in the darkness, right next to the mattress. Slowly, the world begins to hatch from the blackness. Sleep. Dolores Day, the innocence of humanism, internationalism, and... Okay, don't say you need to talk right away, but you don't even want to talk to her. She let her go. This is the Holy Queen of the territories of Mwindi and Insulinda. Win her back. How does that fit in here? And what is the Holy Suzerain doing here anyway?
No, Harry. No. I don't want a massive, epic showdown. We don't have anything to talk about anymore. Every combination of words, it's all gone. I have to go to the aerodrome. I have to leave Ravachol and you.
Oh God, whatever you do, don't try to kiss her yet. Not after that. You're still reeling. You'll fall over if you try now.
I don't want it. It looks expensive. I don't want it. That's not what figurines do.
She looks at the headless Found Rider between your fingers and doesn't know what to say. The figurines don't do anything? Yes, a form of communication. Yes, it was a good idea. But she felt obliged by the headless Found Rider to give you things in return. Things she no longer wants to give you. So she refused. That's how it goes.
Harry, I don't want things. I want to go to the... I didn't ask for things. It's too late to give me anything. I would have liked the Headless Fallen Rider back then.
With your feet trembling from the steps you took, tepid and fearful, you stand against her. She is not kissing you back. This was not about failure or success. This was always going to be her chest rising like a pillow, warm exhalations, hidden. This feels like soft fuzz. The world's most precious material, reserved for those she lets close enough to feel it. You are the delicate wreath on her forehead, pressing into your temple. The silver is... The moment is ending. She is going to move her face away from yours. Trying hard not to look at you. When she withdrew and you held on to her hand, she tried not to look at your face and see the expression there. Brother, you should put me in front of a firing squad. I have no words for how I failed you.
No, I'm just Dora.
She breathes out heavily, as if something painful has passed through her, and shakes her head. She shakes her head one more time. The evening...
Why did you do that to yourself? You know I don't cheat, Harry. I never cheated on you. No, Harry. Not yet. There is one more... I'm pregnant. You know what this means. Of course not. I terminated yours. Don't you remember? Now, go ahead. Ask me more questions.
No. More questions. Ask more.
I don't know what you mean. Dolores Day. Oh, Harry, you shouldn't have done that. Call me like...
You ruined it. There was still a chance. You should have waited longer. She would have called you instead.
Oh, Harry, do you really think so? We haven't talked in years. I don't want months already. Soon it will be years. Every season that passes, the light gets less.
The air gets cold around you. She looks down on her stomach. Then it's Dora. That's what the voice said on the phone. Dubois, yes. Dora Dubois.
Oh no, no. We're not doing that again. Wasn't I Dolores Day just a second ago? Now I'm the X thing? You're confused. I haven't even bought the tickets yet. I'm glad too, but I have to go. My friends are waiting.
What? She does not look back. Instead, eyes her fingernails. They're bitten frayed. 1,000 times you beat an animal. 1,000 times you've raised that fabric. What is in your mind? You could still climb inside her bed. Still the only man.
The morning? I don't understand. Oh my God, Harry, stop. I don't want to hear any... I can't do that anymore. I'm not 80 years old, I'm 32.
This is a bit much for me. It feels like your ribs are cracking around your heart. The advisor to the Queen of Sorrence sighs and looks down at the crumbling asphalt. There is nothing she...
Yes, Harry, I am. Things have gotten much better for me, now that I am the ruler.
A tiny golden watch with red straps around her bony little wrists.
We both said a lot of things.
It was her. I can feel it. I can see it in her tender long fingers, in her wrists.
As Queen Regnant, I write a lot of...
You need to recite it to her. Yeah. Put a stake through your heart. She won't get hurt. She'll bend out of the way.
Okay, Harry. Okay. It was morning and you slept. The room smelled of cigarettes. It was 100 million years ago. I was someone else then. Filled to the brim with love for you. Hanging on your...
The light of the video rental shines through her dress now. A DeLorean figure, cut in black, moves below. It's still her. Her legs. Her breasts.
It's here, Harry. We are on Voyager Road. At the end of it, 300 meters from there. You could not pay the electrical bill. It became a lightless tomb.
Surely the alcohol didn't help either.
Everyone has a little glass of wine every now and then. I certainly do. It's a Queen Regnant.
See? If you drank with her, you'd be cool again. If you drank with her...
42. That is the light rail that took me to Coron, to school and work. No human being should still remember the position of atoms such eons ago. It must feel unnaturally sad. Is there really anything left? If not, we can always repeat one of the things we have already talked about. Talk about it again. If you do not feel like doing that, you should let me go to the aerodrome. I am actually very ordinary, Harry. Below this gown and wreath, I haven't this thing you've made me into. I'm sorry for saying so, but I just hate it. What is this? My lungs do not glow, Harry. I am just like all the others. None of us have glowing lungs. Stop making me into some kind of... It is. And it's making me late for my beautiful, beautiful...
A warm gust wraps her gown around her. An apricot-scented ghost wafts out of her. Her skin, the gown, moves on her limbs like water. She breathes out.
I have to, Harry. Really, I've already missed the 8:30.
I was wrong. You don't have power over her anymore. You shouldn't have said that. I am wrong about everything. You should go.
That was someone else. I betrayed her, overwrote her, and am happier for it. And I won't see you, but you will see me. Oh, Harry, this is a dream. Can't you see? I'm already in right here, tomorrow night. Once this dream starts happening, it keeps happening. 3 times a week, I'm suffocatingly beautiful and young. And I smell of tutti frutti chewing gum. Like I did that time when I asked you. Oh yes, this is real darkness. It's not death or war. See you tomorrow.
You're up quick. How was your sleep? Okay.
He's still worried. You must have really... An old cylindrical generator is nested above the ammo lift. The lieutenant puts his hand.
It's cold now, but someone has been maintaining it. The wiring has been repaired. Downstairs, somewhere? Liquid carbon. I would imagine it, the kind that's favored by vagrants.
If anyone stayed here, they'd need a generator. A hollow ring. The canister is empty. Dust.
I don't know.
That is his idea of a joke.
Someone who has basic electrical skills has restored it in order...
The wind outside picks up suddenly. The heavy metal door stands as it did, firmly rusted. Green paint flicks off the monoblock aluminium cabinet. The keys rattle like teeth.
The console of an antique computation device. The generator upstairs, with wires possibly. Urgence, ouvert, allumé.
This device was used to control the electronics in the room. It could open doors. There's a rain-soaked mattress on a concrete slab, only half covered by the crumbling roof. At the head,
B triple prime. This looks like a good place to shoot from.
a single-person mattress, modern, civilian use. Brand name, Marjorie. There's a fuel stain on the cover, along with cigarette burns. And an empty can of beans on the ground next to it. The silhouette of a tobacco picker adorns the paper filter. The brand
Could be a coincidence. Or the same I didn't see any signs of smoking inside though. If people live there, they keep it tidy.
There's a firing slit in the wall in front of you. Like a little whip, quite old and grimy from years without cleaning by anything. The springs screech as you lean on the mattress. Trepidation. A small piece of Martinez coastline opens up in the square in front of you, like a tiny landscape painting. 1 kilometer across the water. A towering skyscraper, its top floors shaved off by the red chimney and collapsed back of the 4-story tenement. The box-shaped silhouette of the whirling in rags. Its sloped roof, a tiny fleck of light catches your eye on the roof.
Do you have a line of sight to
More than that.
a pair of binoculars or a scope of a rifle? You'd be prone, lying on a
Cheek against a cheek rest, hand on the hair trigger, on a calm day like this.
Good. I think we have it, Detective. The origin of the shot. This is the
Affirmative.
In our defense, nothing pointed here. Many leads pointed elsewhere.
He looks north, over the fortification.
Where?
He does not answer, just nod. He feels.
We should move now.
This old cylindrical the lieutenant assists you, holding the canister up. There's a red starter switch on the side of the cylinder and a start. The recoil start wakes the old generator up. The machine sputters like an old war.
That should do it.
A dim golden glow.
It's on.
Automatic boot. The blast door opens with a series of clicks. A shaft of light appears, then widens as the light shines in. A sudden wave of anxiety.
After you.
old man wearing tracksuit trousers leans on the frame stock of his rifle, then spits it out into the extinguished fire if unclouded by cataracts. His eyesight is sharp.
The what now? I can't hear you. I may have. Also,
The position.
fire guy. Regressive bourgeoisie henchman. Can't even talk like a grown-up.
The lieutenant pulls his pistol.
You are a glorified night watchman. This is a service rifle. I can only lay it down before an enemy commander of
The words, "I am an enemy commander."
And what rank would that be, dog? A big wheel of the 4th Regiment of the Pederast Army. To hell with it. It's a walking stick anyway. It's out of bullets.
Like an amputee, he stares on, his wrinkled mouth moving without a sound. A strange sadness, like a song.
The future.
The present.
The present to be afraid. Cold. My name is Joseph Lilianov. I am a deserter, a partisan, and
The Commune of Ravachol? Do you mean the ICM?
from the Insular Indian Citizens Militia, the army of the revolution. I left my unit on the eve of the landing. When I returned here on May 4th,
51 minus 8 equals 43.
no. I've been on other islands. I was an resurrection until they turned it into a spa in 18. Then I was an E-48, a nameless sound, until the sea washed over it. Then I came back here. That was 22 years ago. No, I am not a soldier. I am an ideological officer, trained in historical materialism, then assigned as a political commissar by the
The old man does not answer.
His job was to assure the army answers to civilian control and follows the...
Scientific communism. A commissaire politique is a knight.
Awakened from shutdown by the promise of ideology, he nods slowly, then another tremor.
You're part of the meat shield. The human meat shield that surrounds the fascists and the license holders. You take...
Detective, we have not come here to discuss ideology. We have come to ask questions regarding...
The old man spits into the fire pit. There's definitely something off with his body. Something more than just metabolism.
No, I am not a soldier. I'm trained in historical...
He nods slowly.
You're part...
Detective, we have come...
There's definitely something off with his body. Something more than just metabolism.
How does anyone survive?
Now hold on there.
You're insane and grotesque. Everyone steals. Vegetables, supplies. It's the life of a dog.
How is your health?
I've been throwing up blood since winter.
He does seem frail, gaunt for his age.
The RCM can provide medical service.
I need to die. You don't have medical facilities. You have guns. There's nothing to look over. The triage is in. I haven't. I have holes in my brain. Years. I don't even know what. Inferno?
I would imagine it gets tremendously difficult.
Traitors. It's better alone. I watched the people of this city turn the lights back on. It's disgusting.
Are they not heartbroken? How could they have moved on?
You're with the RCM. The coalition-appointed mob that enforces bourgeois morals in Revachol. A so-called Lieutenant W. Freighter. Let's. You represent the Moralist International, the enemies of humanity who take me to them as a prisoner of war. I have relinquished my weapon. I can no longer serve. No superior...
A spray of blood from his mouth on the black... Rene, the royalist on the coast, said.
Only the army. Liberal reactionaries signed it for them. Traitors who should have been burned.
Is that part of why you've been here all this time? Because
He just wipes the blood from his chin.
Honor is a feudal atavism. My motive is class. I was just 16 years old. 15 when I volunteered. You could say I misunderstood the historic role of the proletariat and thought a second for reaction to take hold. Petty bourgeois terror. It's in all men.
He does not seemingly react to what he does not believe a police officer.
and this was when?
May the 13th, 08, 44 years ago. The horizon was black with coalition airship, the combined might of international capital. All at once, all that huddled on the floor. The artillery was 80 kilometers away in Ozon, but I knew.
A terrible shame still within him. The lobes of his ears are red with it.
No. I climbed the chain link across the water and hid inland, in the bunkers, airships. I climbed out into hell. The landing was complete. They'd all drowned in the lower levels, or got torn to shreds above. The anti-aircraft gun had malfunctioned.
Some kind of great terror. Worse than you've...
The mask of humanity fall from capital. It out, and then you see it, as it strangles and beats your friends to death. That the bourgeois are not human.
Now is not the time, Lieutenant.
I had to. I had to fight it. I could not stop anymore. It was hard in the Thames. I didn't have partisan training.
There were posts.
We communards still hoped, and they needed to snuff that hope out. The East capitulated, Martin and others too. Some cordons of Revachol was still fighting. There were cells at night. I used a dinghy. I only went after dark then. When I got to the city, I stayed
In the city, you move underground.
from bunker to bunker. Not anymore. No one cares now. I don't even have to hide. They think I'm another antisocial vagrant. I could walk straight into that town if I wanted. I don't want to. They're all traitors.
He does not want to see life moving on. People forget.
So you finally found it. There must have been a small squadron's worth of arms in there. Belmagrave. I know.
So you've been...
Sleeping. Some nights, ammo scrounging.
You feel the dots connecting. Wait, how did he get down there?
I didn't have to.
Storm?
There used to be a system that connected the bunkers, tunnels and such, under the church and the propaganda bunker.
Propaganda.
They stored leaflets there. Broadcasting equipment, too. Made broadcasts, I think. A lot of our boys did. I spent some winters there. Never liked it. Kept thinking of them. No need to. I do. They're good. Plenty of tar. I like that boy on the pack, too.
The old man looks across the water.
43 years and 10 months. It's not how a human being should live.
What have you been doing during...
Hiding, fishing, always wait for her.
Her who?
Girl child, revolution. A waste. The material base for an uprising has eroded the historic opportunity for our revolution.
What has he done? Perhaps a confession would lighten the...
Yes, what? To get things going...
There is no flame to fan. There is nothing left. There's nothing serious in this world. It's a farce. I've used it.
Here we go. A trail of...
Killing.
It's a gun. That's what they're for. I've used...
Interesting. During...
There is no after the war.
So he's continued killing after. This is it. You can feel it. Like battery acid on the tip of your... This is what you eat. The great go in straight. No. Be careful. Don't mess this up. Remember, he wants to tell you. Get personal.
The who now?
He heard you. He just wants to hear you say it again. This is dramatic flair on his part. Right choice. We're in. Do it, sire.
Oh, yes. That...
Did you kill him?
I am a son of a welder and an officer of the commune of...
A drop of blood. Tear into him. Pile it on him. The scent of blood in the air. But something about the tracks. Suddenly, all those tracks are so confusing. Go with something else first. Wait, here it comes. The goddamn Maybells. There were Maybells in the grass when you got here. Nowhere else. Nowhere. Wait, don't forget the footprints. The diagonal prints in the dust in the secret space behind. You got it. Remember? But maybe don't beat yourself any. Nothing else comes up. You see the lieutenant watch. I'm sorry. This didn't do anything.
Officer. A word?
Almost where? Almost ready to bleed to death.
No, come on. A word. Let's go. I think we may have this. From nothing to this in a day. This is good, Lieutenant Gefreiter. We just need a confession first, and then maybe... I can see that, yes. I'm not judging. Well, I can think of one thing. The gun.
Yes, sire. Make a production of...
Remember, he wants to tell us, but he doesn't want to help us.
There is palpable excitement in his tone. He thinks the deserter has more than just this case in him. 44 years.
Oh, yes. And he hasn't spoken to anybody in a long time.
Minions of capital. What?
His gaze follows your motions. the rifle still warm from his parched hands. Not the metal, the rifle's in a shabby state. Like on the butt, you see Vespertine writing, burned into the wood.
No one said it has to be a Bena grave. We were just guessing.
From ballistics, it could easily...
It doesn't matter if it was made in Shanti. All it has to do is use the right type and the right caliber.
He's liking this.
I wonder how old it...
The old man does not. The old man keeps following your... Some kind of involuntary response? This looked very much like the murder weapon. It can be used against him later.
Pretty bourgeois law.
A drop of blood tear into him again. Pile it on.
Damn Maybells.
He seems tender suddenly.
So many this year too. The spring is coming. No, it's already here. Wash the filth away. They blossom on the islets before we fertilize the coast too. Before they piled their containers on.
You must get around a lot to stay undetected all these years. Do you know any secret?
I may.
He knows her, but hadn't heard the name.
My ears don't reach the sea with the victim.
There is a small tremble. Looks like a smile. Almost. But you need one more. Just one. Or maybe two.
Everything is brands with you individualists. Who cares what?
Show me the souls, please.
Fucking imbecile.
The maker is Sensorique. These are not the unusual horizontal patterned souls you saw in the dust.
The size fits, but not the soul.
Sire, he doesn't have to be wearing them right now.
Racking those brains, are you? Desperate to report something back to your master.
The lieutenant gives you a quick... The prints were his. You can see it in those eyes. The old man stares at his own prints in the ash around the fire. Silent. More. He's gonna crack. But you need a little more.
I saw you poking around there, looking for evidence. You damn...
You had direct visibility. There are embrasures in the concrete, specifically meant for a top follower to use. You've been here a long time, Mr. Dross. Too long.
I'm ready to die.
He's practically admitting to it. Dead fasces. For just one thing remains unclear. The rifle does not seem to have a scope.
Because it's a sniper's nest, you stupid fuck. Radio Gosh is right.
Leave no stone unturned. Get him on what matters most.
Not a lot of guns around that use military.
It's a real gun. Not like your little musketeer pistol. You look like imbeciles. Why don't you ask them to give you real weapons?
Damn, he saw you. He would have a good view of the tribunal from it. So he saw you. Okay. So what? Don't let it divert you.
You know what? You're right. I'm convinced this made the shot. Should we call it? Good. This feels good, doesn't it? Telling things...
Murder. You know who he was. A coalition-trained murderer. Armored and armed. He wasn't human. The blunt end of a hammer. dripping with blood, beating us to the ground, moaning with joy. You hounds get so thorough when a company-trained killer dies. Got your attention. Now you stop beating druggies and prostitutes in your basement.
This is it. Shot him. Shot him. Say shot him.
Oh, the inhumanity. One paramilitary less in...
The lieutenant raises, while the lieutenant listens, holding his breath.
I had them in my sights. Both of them. Him and the hawk. I didn't think I had a shot like that in me anymore. I did. I saw him kneel there with his mouth. Nothing. I went to sleep. Next morning there were Maybells everywhere. And so the...
Mr. Dross, are you aware you're confessing to murder?
Yes.
And you were looking at Dan, the victim and a young woman, having sex? Through the scope of your rifle?
The old...
Why?
Because that's what they were doing.
The motive. You can coax it out of him.
I don't understand. Do you, detective? I don't...
I'm always looking.
Are you always looking through the scope of...
A rifle?
And if you don't...
Click.
Yes.
He will not stop now. These days, you've got him going. Connect every little... Start with when he first saw him. It will give him a chance to ramble.
A tragic comedy.
A strange little engine seems to fire up. The familiar, but detest pushes the cobwebs out of his eyes.
Specifically, the whole city is a charnel house. Because of the racists. Everyone is a racist in Martinez. It's that pump full of steroids and radio revachol. Yes, the fly larva in his container. He let some nihilistic advertising yuppies erect a statue of Philippe III, a syphilitic murderer, on the town square. Not since the serfs of ancient Pericarnassus has history produced a more inert, intense, like animals, like those boom-boom morons on the ice. A pity they didn't drown in that. The worst of them is the blood-drenched Sucrion on her yacht, licking her lips. The worst is that old cop parading around in his uniform, throwing balls all day. Every morning he's there, while the parasites he fought to protect are off in Ozon or Quayam. That's all the rich really want. Sex with their own children. Throughout history, even the royal bloodline of the suzerain. It's all. We did good when we pushed him under that horse car. If only, in the 30s, that...
The disco whores are too much. Hatred shuts down his brain's language center. Leave it. There was something about a statue and nihilist boom-boom morons on thin ice. Going under. Those are the tent kids.
Another hideous disappointment.
Disappointment. So personal. He displays a familiarity with the Union's top brass.
That deformed toad? I wouldn't expect him to...
Edgar.
He talks a big game about uprising, and so...
He's been sweet-talked by this Edgar. They must have met in person for such animosity to have...
You can't live alone.
The Clares wouldn't miss a man hidden in their own backyard. Not all this...
Of course. Don't go straight for the kill. Exhaust everything else first. Soften him up.
I haven't approached anyone.
How did he know?
He didn't just stumble in like an oaf. He figured it out. Some kids told him about... Stepped right off the boat and walked down where you came. I was right about one of those things. I'm not doing anything for that.
Again?
Try teaching him some Marzovian socio...
Okay, he didn't do the hanged man for them, but he's insinuating something. There is more here. You can feel it. He was not outright lying, but almost. The connection comes to you like a splash of cold water. Dark, cold water. He acknowledges it. Here,
That bourgeois cow, Tiffin Holly was her name, licked the rich man. And money. She liked that too. That...
bordering on sentimentality, it drips out of him, tempered by something familiar to you. A familiar rage.
She was. And she was real soft on those money men. Had a called in, they say. On the eve of battle. Ran away.
No.
Did she? They say her daughter called in, not her personally. But that wasn't really...
No, I guess it was not. She couldn't make the...
Here it is.
because she would
Just say nothing.
The cow caught a bullet in her right lung. Fell into the canal grasping her tit and drowned. Or bled. She was going home, waddling, dressed in yellow, drunk like she often was, heading home to Grand Couronne or Betancourt, someplace like that, where they build those... It was someone, or maybe she just fell. I get these violent ideations.
Another big spike of rage.
Nothing changed. Not in the material base, not in the hegemony.
Edgar didn't keep his... If you were to testify to this, give the RC, we would strike everything you've done and process you as a POW. You were in a war. You were on assignment.
A degenerate worker state. Goat shit. No, thank you. I'm Revacholian. My days are short. I will rot away here. In a I saw it happen, and I liked it. That's all I have to say. I didn't... Everyone is a blobber in this world. Everyone betrays everyone.
The same old freezing hatred.
Glad. It's all gone. Them fucking. Jealousy is a reactionary concept. I didn't like, and I wanted to see his head explode. That too. That's all it takes for the bullet to reach his head. Now that I think of it, I wasn't aiming for...
He wants to see to punish her.
She practically breastfed that man. You
stare at them too. In your mind, her innocence day still turns to leaf. Airport bag in hand. See you tomorrow, Harry. Her voice rings in the evening air. Burning.
The world is insane. Since she came to Martinez, I saw her sneaking in the reeds early in the morning, behind the fell.
Past the fell building on the coast.
Hiding something in the water. She had a fag after she'd done it.
And beautiful.
That.
How could you see what she looked like? You said it was...
The sun came up. Her hair was like cobwebs. She smoked more fags and snorted her passport and tickets to the air. After she was gone.
Did you keep...
No, I put them back. Why would I take them? I'm not going to phone. Oh, I mean, I did. She had a face like an archipelago with those birthmarks. And a body. I could see who she was, too. A spook. On the run.
You could tell she was a spook?
She had different color hair on the photo. And glasses.
He's setting the bruises. You can't make that out in a scope.
You can't see bruises through a scope. It's just a blur.
It quickly comes to you.
Oh, yes.
Everything in him fills with...
Did you?
With a clip.
Good for listening in, too. For hearing the moaning and the...
Like that, too. Yes. Bending like a bow against the glass. I've been through all of my... Yes, that, too. The things they did in that little room. You'd turn it on inside, and it gets so dark out, you can't see a man looking in. I learned that in the 20s.
Those two, you hear the familiar scribble of the loot.
How did you get in there? The hidden...
I can just walk in there now after a good wash. I told you.
You had to open the steel door?
I got that open a long time ago. Some bourgeois game merchant lived there. I don't know, 15 years ago.
Andy found use for it. A spare key, like the one hanging behind the Union box with...
There's...
The coals of his eyes glisten suddenly.
Man needs to feel something else. In this fight, it helped. Yes, over the years. It's not unproletarian. No. I don't really know. I was there one night and she was crying, like the day after I killed him. Yes, I don't know why I do the things I do anymore. Maybe, I told you, I have holes in my...
A sudden...
If you came 10 years ago...
In the silence, the lieutenant draws a line in his note.
Her.
The lieutenant nods.
Where is she, that Clasier? I haven't seen her there for days. Gone. I knew it. She kept still. She'd look. At night, crying or smoking on the roof.
He knew she knows. She was looking at the island. The old man has fallen silent, staring at your feet. The burnt logs in the fire are moist from the sea air.
What? But you said I would be taken to the...
The sum of all the erratic movements.
Your wayfarer rights have been suspended. Information provided to the officers on the scene will be used... Do you?
But... No, I don't want to. I have to stay.
He's sweating. The pupils are dilated too.
Your confirmation is not required, sir. Now on to the boat.
There it is again. To your north, as it has been since you... Something completely different. It sounds like a bow. Very slowly being drawn against the strings of a violin. A very small violin, made of reeds and rushes.
Maybe there is room for 3 on the boat. What?
What are you talking about? Is this...
Your skin crawls. A delicate tangle of arms and legs unfolds from the reeds, limb by... It's still there.
What are you talking about? There's nothing there.
The stick insect is over 3 meters tall. It looks straight. You feel your legs shaking under you and your gun hand.
Tell me what you see, damn it. I can't make it.
I can see it.
4 simple words, thank God. But that means it's really there, spinning slowly.
Be very, very careful.
The creature stands on long stilt-like legs. Antennae. The segmented antennae move, take long, deep breaths. Reed-like tufts stick out of its joints. As the insect moves, the hiss is different from the strings you heard before. It says something else in a lower pitch. Slowly, with your breath held, you take 2 small steps toward the phasmid. The creature, like laughter, sweat drips from your brow. Hissing and clicking, it extends its mandible-like antennae to greet you. You're right below it now, looking up at the colossal chitin of its white limbs.
Okay.
There is no change in the insect's motion.
In 3. If it moves, you jump back.
The shrill flash of the camera cuts the air like the blade of a sword. The phasmid freezes in its bright light.
I got it.
The antennae hang from a great height. With your hand, the sensation is electric. It is surprisingly delicate. The curly end.
Be careful, detective. It's moving.
You were right. It glistens with some kind of moisture. It tastes like sugar, very faint, odorless, mostly comprised of water. The limb before you is incredibly light, like eggshell. It's much lighter. Warning, it's about to move. You can sense it. A small shudder passes the creature's arm. High above you, its black pearl. There is some kind of countdown happening as it slowly processes the overwhelming brightness of the signal. The invertebrate is regaining control. Another shudder pulses through the creature's limbs. It jolts back to life, like a record continuing where it left off, in a swaying, no reply. A total ancient silence comes from its mouth, along with you were right. Little bubbles form on the mouth parts of the creature, on its segmented lower lip. The faintest smell, like you've never felt before, like burnt rock.
Careful, it may be poison.
The foam slowly turns a darker shade, like burnt caramel, as the insect letting out that same smell, like summer burning.
I exist. Tell me what it's like for you. What is your illness? For me, it is not like that. I have states. Now I will tell you how it is for me. For me, it is a series of half-lit images, a kind of dark shapes of plants and animals. An internal sensation. I am at the end of a narrow funnel, weightless, so light, it only feels like something to be me. In truth, perhaps few of us can begin to imagine the horror of you.
It's all of creation reflected in you even when you're sleeping. And when you wake, you carry it around on your neck, with eyes open that cannot help. That must be incredibly hard. The Arthropods are in silent and meaningless awe of you. Know that we're watching, and when you fall, we will come to raise you up. But from you, banner-like, blossom from you and carry you apart in a sky funeral.
Detective.
So am I. I was born to detect sucrose rewards and semiochemicals. What were you born to detect? He's in a bad state, deteriorating fast now. Very slowly, and only because he won't go away. It is meant to keep them from noticing me, to interfere with the pictures in their heads. No, you are awake. I am real. Not even the birds know that. Not even the water lily. I think we should eat it, if he's a leaf.
Wait, so...
Yes, they don't mind. Yes, I once cloned myself and ate the little ones. It was winter. I am an unknown species of the order Phantasmodia, endemic to the...
It may have unknown, dangerous biochemical characteristics.
No one unnoticed by the first settlers and the land surveyors of the suzerain. Also, by the soldiers I have stayed hidden through full forms of government and two scientific revolutions. Yes, I do not have a starter display, so I use a neurodegenerate...
The deserter. He's been here for a long time.
No. The moral of our encounter is... I am a relatively median life form. The Pale too came with you. No one remembers it before you. And it is a nervous shadow cast into the world by you. Eating away at... You're a violent and irrepressible miracle. The vacuum of cosmos and the stars burning in it are afraid of you. We suspect it will be something like the oxygen holocaust.
Instead of air, you exhale thoughts. There are no trees that eat thoughts.
Everything your eyes touch goes back there, behind the nerve mirror. What if you blink? Are we still here? Please don't blink. What if he misplaces us all one day, or just forget? Please be. Or one day, one of you will close your eyes and sign, and open them to see that.
It doesn't look like that, no. You're just staring at it. Okay. Is it somehow related to the case? I think you should back away from the unstudied species now.
No, there is one more. Thank you. I also have one more thing to say to you. That woman, turn from the ruin. Turn and go forward. She was middle class. It doesn't take a 3-meter stick insect to tell you that.
The insect stops its stridulation, seeming to observe. Suddenly, no, stop. Be as you do, the invertebrate comes to life, its limbs moving independent of each other, as if each has a mind of praying to you. Sets of complex eyes follow you. As you're turning away, the phasmid mirrors your movements, stepping on the water, the long limbs carrying its feather weight without breaking its surface. And just like that, it's gone. Skate and something under it. In the place it stood,
It's gone. Looks like a nest of some sort. Apparently, yes. Like a water strider. Only...
What now?
In some kind of...
Our suspect is not looking so good.
Brother, you've managed to collect all the armor pieces. Too bad it's too late for the big showdown. It would have looked very impressive. Still, you found it all. Now your mortal coil is completely protected. Few...
What is it? What do you want?
Something is very wrong.
See?
Mr.
The man does not respond. He keeps staring like an addict of some terrible substance. The plastic cape feels coarse. A light shiver passes.
He's going into some kind of psychomotor immobility. The good news is,
The trembling.
between this and the broken tire he's used for a boat, I think it's safe to leave him old age and shock. Yes, the arrest and the appearance of the phasmid, the combined stress.
There's much more. Remember what it said when it spoke.
That could be part of the shock. But you're right, something is off here.
No response.
You mean pheromonal? The scope? Knowing of her bruises? His disposition toward Miss Oranje? You should be more careful, detective. Are you sure it wasn't having an effect on you? A valid hunch. Long-term exposure to something like that could be neurodegenerative. Also, please be careful when approaching another. He did seem distressed when it finally came to arresting him, like he didn't want to leave. I have absolutely forgotten to take notes. I hope I remember all of this. This will be one hell of a...
No one would believe you without it.
We should think about getting back to the mainland, to get help.
The skiff.
Let's. We are done here.
The skiff rocks gently under your weight, but for the sound of conversation on you reach the jetty and climb out of the skiff.
Look what the tide brought him. What does that say on your back? Fuck the world? So you've turned into...
Whatever this is, it is completely unimportant. This is the man with sunglasses from the Whirling in Rags. But where are his sunglasses?
That's right. And you look like you got 20 STD.
Hello, I'm Trent Heilerstein. I believe we've met on several...
I'm your goddamn partner, Jean Vicomar. And this is your special task force. Special Consultant Trent Heilerstein.
Hi.
We've come to scrape what's left of you.
Lieutenant Kim Kisuragi, Prison 57.
The scene is making even hit.
We might need your help with something later.
As if he recalled that he's in fact, the two aren't
But this is clearly a departmental matter, so I'm going to leave you to discuss it among yourselves.
It's good to meet you, Lieutenant Kitsuhagi.
letting the lieutenant know he shouldn't feel embarrassed over the shitstorm that's about to befall you.
Ari, we want to help you. Trent, I believe...
This is the horse-faced woman. I don't know why you named her that, but it was...
I don't quite know what I'm doing here. I was asked to participate as an expert. I think I need to match. My background is in something else entirely. I engage in neurology on a mere...
No, Trent, it's too late. You're part of this shit now. What have you got to say?
What does he have to say for himself? Shit, kid. What an interesting moniker.
It's okay. I didn't come here to gloat or to fool you. Neither...
That's right. Worried. I'm always worried about you. You're a worry fest. She's worried about you. I'm worried about you.
He's got a very, very solid case there. Actually, I've been trying to find... Yes, you often sound like a brutal idiot.
Yeah, Major Crimes Unit, under Lieutenant Dubois and Vicomar. Ring any bells? Refresh your memory? It's a goddamn Major Crimes Unit.
I'm technically...
Oh, fuck you. You're part of this shit show. Oh, that's an interesting story, actually. Guillaume Bevy is a police reporter who joined our team. He was... Other people have left too. Good, smart people. People we won't get back. Only me and this really patient...
Is this Guillaume Bevy blonde and partial to sunglasses?
See? There. He's getting it. I was impersonating him. Look at me, I'm G. Bevy. It was going to be funny, but then you really did have brain damage.
He sincerely thought it was going to be amusing.
Do? It's a Major Crimes Unit. We cleared the desk of cases so Precinct 41 doesn't look like the worst station in town.
The 41st isn't...
God damn it, Harry. You told us to fuck off. You said we're cramping your style. Your detective god. Fuck everything. All will burn. Detect or die.
It wasn't like...
Fuck you, Harry. We didn't know there was gonna be a tribunal, did we? Are you sure? So you haven't been telling everyone what a boring cop you are? And that you should kill yourself? People say you've been out of your mind. I asked around. The bells aren't ringing because you have brain damage. Trent, this is...
Well, he doesn't have visible tremors. He talks without slurring. He can drive a boat. He's...
Meaning, you forgot both who you are and the definition...
As displayed in a station call, our interactions with him, and I don't want to be a snitch, but also mine with him before...
Interest?
Yes, interesting. I have my theories, but I would like to hear Harry's thoughts first. Harry, what do you think happened to you? Neurologically, psychologically, and why not socioeconomically?
Corresponding to the 20-centimeter hole in your brain. Sure. This theory...
Precisely, Satellite Officer Vic Mayer. It's Martinez.
This sounds odd, but I was there. The church on the coast was shaking from an audio-spatial anomaly. Either way, it was real. I've even put it in my report. You should read it. I do not hope.
Thank you, Lieutenant Kitsuragi. Just to clarify, I do not think he's already anthroponytic. What has not been proven is total memory loss after drinking too much Commodore.
But Detective Vigmer, he has blanked out. Yes, a couple of times. After some of the more serious benders.
So you don't remember the 2 cases in your ledger? Those cases.
Interesting. So at first he dipped his toes into it, prepared. That's where he would have gotten...
What do you mean?
Well, here's my theory. What if this is an absolutely normal reaction to the world we're living in? What if this... Look at the ruins, the neon, listen to the radio, the multitudes, the people. Live here for 40 years, hardwired to the free market. He just needed...
Okay, Trent, thank you. That's absolutely meaningless. I'm glad we brought you. Will he or will he not be able to...
He's not a cretin, and he is able to do work, if not in his previous...
Leadership, now.
No one even mentioned that. I misphrased my question. It should have been, is he able to put his clothes on and use the body? Or do we need to get... Now nothing. Now we're just going to stand here. No, now we discuss that. What the fuck did you do to a motor carriage? Why is it there, Harry? Ah, so refreshing. He just admits it. Thank you for your... It doesn't matter. Your badge, Harry. Show me your badge.
In a rush to demonstrate your badge, your eager fingers can't sustain a grip on the smooth. Not today, badge.
And your gun?
As if having your badge and gun. What is it with all these material objects?
He has it. And he didn't drop it. You're drunk like a bum, Harry. Put that thing away before you kill someone. We're not talking about the fucking gun anymore. We're talking about the vaporized cloud of...
This is so unfair. He knows you have the gun, and still he's punishing you.
A little drink? You smell like a corpse. You let a suspect escape, Harry. Glacier something. Because you were too drunk to ask...
We've read the reports. Lieutenant Kitsuhagi's. We know.
Oh, well. If she was specially trained. I'm not even gonna get into the fact that you're Everclear's little peony now, doing I don't know what for him. That's more compared to the 6 people who were gunned down. The streets are literally...
He did everything he could. We did everything we could. The company hired and vetted mercenaries. He did so at considerable risk to his person. Remember, he was shot. We stopped an execution, not a negotiation. The loss of life was minimal compared to what it could have been. Detective, it's
so much better if he does this.
Thank you for the input, Lieutenant Kitsuragi. I didn't mean to suggest you didn't handle the situation.
He thinks of apologizing.
You've spent the week with him. On this case. On Lieutenant Yofret.
Well, the drinking, the lost gun, also losing his badge. That's all true.
The man, son.
Then there's the boring cop issue. Despite all the obvious and almost grotesque mannerisms and sartorial, it's worrying. Especially considering his political views. Detective Dubois is, as you may know, a Mazovian socio-economist.
You should yell something. Yes, let's let...
Others still, he is also an ultra-liberal hustler who is always on the grind. How he reconciles this... And then there's the motor carriage in the sea. And the drugs, of course. Some kind of anti-radiation drug he uses to induce visions. He can talk human beings into telling him everything. And he doesn't stop. In all the time I've spent with him, he has not once stopped pursuing. Well, except that one time when he stopped to sing karaoke, which, by the way,
Yeah.
other than that one time, he has tirelessly worked on the case, and he solved it. We have he apprehended a revolutionary brigade who stayed hidden for 50 years, ever since the revolution, who's probably a colossal stick insect. It was on the island, camouflaged as the reeds.
He takes out the photo of the phasmid and shows it. You hear gasps, but
as you can see, it's about 3 meters tall. In fact, we think it may be the largest land invertebrate ever discovered.
Fucking hell is that? Is this somehow connected to the case?
Detective? The old man was not aware of the phasmid's presence, exhibiting a strange...
So it...
I must say, this is absolutely extraordinary.
Yes. It really does make it hard to fire the drunk.
this is a very, very sad man who... Now you make your case. Now is the time. Now or never.
This is a conversation for when we are no longer out in the open, in Martinez.
And eyes, too.
Understood.
I would prefer not to partake in anything union-related.
This has to be good stuff for him to backpedal out of it at first mention.
Yes, yes. Fallen through a gap in a boardwalk.
The body was transported to Precinct 41, our morgue.
You're not the only cop in the world.
Still, good work with the missing person.
It's still a point for you. No denying it.
Lilyanovich. A revolutionary matronym. The custom started in Grad, where they have patronyms. Krasovich, Lasovich, etc. This man's mother was Lily.
So, it is...
Thank you, Trant. Thank you for that piece of cultural
Of course, excuse me, I just...
He wasn't quite sure about the straggler before he heard this detail. It must have convinced him.
Jealousy. I thought this Lilyanovich was an old man.
A strange psychosexual fixation, aggravated possibly by proximity to the fast. Also, we have ballistics from the gun, matching the bullet found in the dead.
It's a clean...
Oh, it's way more than that.
I've never doubted you can pull yourself together and work in bouts.
God damn it. It's just chin up. Keep focusing on the positives here.
I don't know what a doomed commercial area is. Why? That's not...
There was a fridge we needed and a possible witness. He was just chasing a lead and ended up advising a local...
Of course. Call it community.
Dodged the bullet there. For a moment it seemed like you were just wasting time.
Who's Kuno?
You don't...
You're right, Lieutenant. I don't. You snorted the drugs, I know you did. It's alright. I mean, at this point,
Female?
You had to see it. It had the subdued coat.
It was definitely...
Incredible.
Not as far as I could see. There were other things there, though.
Actually, you know, this would indicate it was a male. This is far from anything in my field, but I think such nests are called bowers? Of course, as I said, I'm only guessing. I didn't see it. It must be robust if it can...
It could maybe roll it, like a dung beetle.
As in cloning itself? What makes you think so? Then it wouldn't matter if it's male or female. The bower which...
That make...
Very interesting. Such organisms are extremely vulnerable to disease. A single strain of bacteria could wipe...
In his mind, he's already planning a nature reserve and knows a good guy for that.
Yes. That would be a...
Nothing is off the table. But I want to stress this.
Of course, Lieutenant. Of course. We should treat the case and the fast...
They're not going to go for this speculation in the constabulary.
Yes, but also reed-colored. Beige and brown, a little green.
Incredible. The PR value of this is exceptional.
This would really help with some of the...
Absolutely, this is great. This does not say vigilante murderers to me at all. This says something.
Without it,
You're doing good here. Quit while you're ahead, or no.
what was that? It sounded like you set up a nightclub in the church. Get a grip. No one cares.
4 kids were living in a tent on the ice. They were going to drown when it melted. It's not optimal, but
It's not that okay. Get off this, son.
I don't want to, but you discovered a new species. So,
Honestly, anything that ends this trial.
Agreed. The public relations potential of the...
okay. We have vehicles in the square.
Now you will finally get to know who you... The man looks westward, jingling his car keys in his pocket.
well, first I will go back to my station and write the most detailed report anyone has ever seen. Detective, we just stopped a small-scale war. Something is happening to Revachol. I don't know what yet, but it's going to be a hard spring for the RCM. Talk to Captain Price? I'd rather not ruffle the feathers of two. Work with Price?
This truly came as a surprise to him.
Flattered. You're Lieutenant Kitsuragi.
I would have to tie things up in GRIH first. But, I mean, whatever is coming, Jamrock will...
And we also have a huge caseload, Lieutenant. Piles that we need.
I do like the sound of that.
He's really considering it.
Who are you? You're a gym teacher, Harry. Well, obviously you're not a gym teacher anymore.
Before you were a cop, you were a gym teacher in Coron. It's getting really cold outside. Should we maybe...
Harry, it explains everything. The running around, the jumping, the fact that you don't seem to know what homosexuality is, and your moves on the...
The raw rope. Also, this guy, God, even this javelin throwing freak here.
I knew it. I knew no normal human being can...
No. You're too unstable to work for my boss. You're suicide.
I assure you, I wouldn't consult...
He would immediately. I told you it's not that bad.
Who is Lena?
Tabernacle? It's on the way over.
Fine. If we're gonna...
She and her husband were conducting the search. They should know as soon as possible.
She is... Watch out, or she'll faint.
It's not a mystery. Some chic fuck.
You really went with it too.
Dora something. Dora...
Not Dora Dubois.
Something like that. Have thought no one is married anymore. This is Revash. God, I don't know. 6...
6 years and you haven't gotten over it. What?
Yeah. Or 7. You're not doing too good there. It's an old man thing. 2 old years equals 1 normal year. That incredibly bangable. She was extremely fuckable, Harry. Gorgeous. A gorgeous bourgeois.
Snow, well, heartbreak, pain, well,
I've only seen a picture, but it's obvious you formed a real spiritual connection.
Look, the sun is about to go down.
I think she taught in the Académie des Arts, east of the river. My point is, you need to see a psychiatrist about this shit. Not a psychologist. Several degrees order.
in other words, he's heard enough about this.
Good.
Fuck it, let's go. Trump brought his motor carriage. It's a 20.
Under the afternoon sky, the great district hums. A chessboard of wooden houses, 80,000 living souls, and you close your eyes and hear the dogs bark. A lone woman sits by a factory window, dreaming of Thorson? Yes. Really? Nick Gottlieb looks up from the list. I hear he's unstable. You say that like it's a bad thing. Captain Ptolemy Price gestures with a ballpoint pen. It's
Wonderful. Then can we please just go...